In this industry, you see a lot of bad cars. But every once in a while, you see a car that makes you want to pick up a tire iron and go visit the person who sold it. This is Sarah. She came into my shop at 4:30 p.m. on a Friday. She was on her way to a job interview when her new car, which she bought just 3 days ago, overheated on the highway. She didn't just pull over because of the steam. She pulled over because the check engine lights started flashing, and the car physically shuddered to a halt. I popped the hood and a massive cloud of sweet-smelling white steam billowed out. I waved it away with my hand. She told me, "Please, tell me it's just a hose." I spent every dollar I had on the down payment. I can't afford a repair. I looked at the coolant reservoir. It wasn't green. It wasn't orange. It looked like a chocolate milkshake. That is the universal sign of oil mixing with coolant. That means a blown head gasket, or worse, a cracked block. This wasn't a $50 hose. This was a $3,000 engine rebuild. I brought Sarah into the waiting room and gave her a coffee. Then I went to work investigating. A head gasket doesn't just blow up 3 days after you buy a car unless it was already dying. I pulled the oil dipstick. It was thick. Too thick. It smelled like motor honey. The thick additive car lots used to silence a knocking engine just long enough to get it off the lot. But then I found the smoking gun. I pulled the number 3 spark plug. It was caked in white, crystallized residue. That's burnt coolant. This cylinder had been drinking water for weeks. There's zero chance the dealer didn't know about this. I asked Sarah for the paperwork. She bought it from a place called Tony's Auto Piazza across town. A classic buy here, pay here lot. High interest rates, low morals. I looked at the bill of sale. She paid $8,900 for a 10-year-old minivan, predatory but legal. But then I saw the stamp, as is, no warranty. Sarah was sobbing. She said, "He told me it was inspected. He told me it ran like a dream. He promised me it was safe for my kids." I looked at the windshield. Brand new state inspection sticker. Issued 3 days ago. The issuing station? Tony's Auto Piazza. Then I looked at the tires. On the outside, they looked new. But on the inside edge, the part you can't see unless you put it on a lift, they were worn down to the steel belts. This car was a death trap. And Tony had slapped a safety past sticker on it to make the sale. I knew the as-is law. In most states, once you drive over the curb, you own the junk. But I also knew the safety inspection law. You cannot fake a state inspection. That is fraud. So I called Tony. A gruff voice picked up. "Tony's Piazza. Who's this?" I said, "Yeah, this is Mike from Mike's Auto. I've got a customer here, Sarah Jenkins, who bought a minivan from you Tuesday." He said, "Oh yeah, the crying girl. Look, buddy, save your breath. The paper says as is." She signed it. Not my problem. I told him, "Tony, the head gasket is blown. The block is cracked, and the oil is full of sawdust. You knew this car was dead." He said, "Hey, watch your mouth. Cars break. Tell her to take the bus." I got a business to run. He was exactly who I thought he was. He didn't care. He had her money. He knew she couldn't afford a lawyer. He thought he was untouchable. So I said, "Tony, I'm not calling about the head gasket. I'm calling about the inspection sticker on the windshield. Sticker number 40,992. Signed by you." There was silence on the line. Then he said, "So what?" I said, "So the car is on my lift right now, and I'm looking at steel belts showing on the tires. I'm looking at a subframe that is rusted through. There is no way this car legally passed inspection on Tuesday, which means you committed inspection fraud." I continued, "I'm looking at the state police violation form right now. If I fax this to the trooper barracks, they don't just fine you, Tony. They pull your inspection license. They shut down your service bay. How much money do you make on inspections a month? 10 grand? 20 grand? His voice changed. It was no longer aggressive. It was panicked. Whoa. Hold on, let's not be hasty. Maybe my tech missed something. You know how hard it is to find good help these days." I said, "I don't care about your help, Tony. Here is what is going to happen. I'm going to replace the engine. I'm going to put on 4 new tires. I'm going to fix the subframe. The total bill is $4,500. And you are going to pay it. Right now. Over the phone." He yelled, "You're out of your mind. I sold the car for $8,000. I'm not giving back half the profit." I just said, "Okay, no problem. I'm faxing the report to Sergeant Miller at the state police right now. You can explain the bald tires to him." I held my finger over the send button. I waited. This was the gamble. If he called my bluff, Sarah was screwed. But guys like Tony? They're cowards. They fear one thing, the authority that can shut them down. He finally broke. Wait, Jesus Christ. You're robbing me. You're robbing me. I just said, credit card number, Tony. Expiration and CVV. He read the numbers. He was cursing the whole time. He called me every name in the book, but the machine didn't care. It went through. I printed the receipt. I stapled it to the invoice. We kept the car for 3 days. We put in a remanufactured engine with a 3-year warranty. We put on Michelin tires. We fixed the brakes. We made that car brand new. When Sarah came back, she was shaking. She had her checkbook out. She said, Mike, I only have $400. Can I pay you on a plan? I handed her the keys. I said, put your checkbook away. The warranty covered it. She looked confused. She said, but Tony said there was no warranty. I smiled and said, Tony decided to make a one-time exception. He wanted to ensure his customer service rating stayed high. She cried. She hugged me. She drove away safely with her kids. Tony is still in business. Scumbags like that always are. But every time he sees my name on caller ID, he picks up on the first ring. But be honest, I blackmailed a business owner to pay a bill he wasn't legally obligated to pay. Was I the hero, or am I just as crooked as he is? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.